The Detroit Lions came out there on Sunday Night Football against the Philadelphia Eagles in an opportunity to prove that they are contenders with the Eagles and can be one of those teams. However, this is what I was trying to warn Lions fans a couple of weeks ago about, that Jared Goff, I can't take him seriously because on Sunday Night Football, he was atrocious. 14 for 37, 2 of his last 18, and all of that aside, because players have bad games, Goff looked cold and afraid out there in that weather on Sunday Night Football. Here we go, guys. Super excited. New segment, play of the day. We get into one play and break it down. Now, this was just a ridiculous situation. I'm not going to lie. And it's not all on Jared Goff. As you're going to see, the offensive line had a piece to play, as well as Dan Campbell. And the thing is, this situation, 5-minute long drive. Third quarter, you're down 13-6. I get you want it all back, but you've already gone for how many fourth downs? They didn't work. So here you go, 4th and 3. You're so far back, they know it's a passing situation. So you got Amara out here. He is down here. He's actually going to come in, make a little motion, try to create what you would call kind of a mesh across. And I think he actually comes back up and goes over. So that's where like Amara's going. Here you got these guys in like a trips formation down low. These guys coming over, crossing over, and you're going to get this guy coming underneath. Now, all that is cool, and that design, cool and everything. This, however, is the problem. This Eagles defensive line, whoops, almost learning the part, sorry, still learning. This Eagles defensive line is just up here, and they've been torturing Goff all game. What's been happening is Davis, 2 deflections at this point. Carter, 2 deflections at this point. These guys also have had 7 hits. This Lions offensive line been getting annihilated. They can't really run the ball. They haven't been able to get downhill. I believe in the game, only 40 rushing yards. And so now you're putting them in a situation where now they've got to get back here, pass block, be on their heads as well. Goff been pretty inaccurate getting hit. I'm just saying, if we don't want to put it all on Goff, this is a really tough situation because look at these guys. These guys are all just standing here in the box knowing that there's a pass. They aren't coming forward. No, so just X that out. Instead, what they're doing is they get to just lounge around in this goal line area, and on 4th down, make sure you don't get a touchdown. And when we run this play, what ends up happening is it's actually a disaster because this right tackle, I think that's Sewell, gets absolutely cooked by Phillips. Goff gets hit, and then back of the end zone, you see some tight coverage over here. So let's run the clip, and you guys are going to see exactly what I'm talking about. And Goff on this, I'm going to be honest, he's trying to point stuff out. He has, like, no chance to make a play here. Phillips is just that. I mean, look at that. Phillips is just that dominant coming off of the edge here that by the time he rears back to throw, I mean, he's trying to throw it. This dude's just in his grill, and he's looking for, Amara on what's coming. He's going to kind of do a little cutback, right? So he's going to go up and then cut this back, and you're looking to try to get a Dory Jackson there. But this guy, I mean, at the end of the day, it's hard to make a decision. 4th down, biggest play of the game, when this dude is just, I don't know, already on you by the time you come back and you make your step. So, I mean, as we see it, he just gets absolutely obliterated. I mean, that's just nasty. I'm going to be honest. Like, we can make all the jokes we want. That doesn't look fun because he's also getting hit from this end as well. He's getting catapulted over here into there. It is cold. It's windy. And my goodness, he's just trying to actually go out here and make a play. But the problem is on the back end as we see it now, this not open at all. Baggy-agged. You know what I mean? And that's just not really the move. Now, here's the problem. As you see, obviously, Dory running off all happy and Amara frustrated. This is what's happening, and this is the problem. If you look at it again, this dude right here is just so wide open. He basically came from running an under route, right, an under crosser, and we'll show it to you guys. We'll run it back a little bit here. But what you see is he just gets so open. And I'm telling you guys, as much as I say, this is the reason you can't take Goff seriously, I don't think it's him. I think if he was able to move a little bit, maybe even extend this way, he's able to have more range and not just key in on this, but instead look at what's happening underneath and developing. However, with this offensive line, I mean, look at these guys. These guys are already, this is like a second in. They're getting demolished. And Lions fans told me that this offensive line was a problem. Here's my issue. If you're Dan Campbell and Goff and them, and you know the offensive line is a problem, now Goff doesn't call plays, but if you know that the offensive line is a problem, what you can't do is put yourself in fourth down situations. It can't happen because now this dude, he just has no shot. He has no chance to make a play and to look. And again, we're going to erase everything just so you can see it and key your eyes in on this. He is wide open, guys. This is a touchdown. Look at how wide open. I think it's right. Look at how wide open he gets. There's nobody there. They miss him. They set him free. He's wide open, and instead, that's what you get. And I mean, when we look at this from a different angle now, Phillips screaming at you. You know what I mean? They're communicating, and now this is what you get. He's just running for his life, and he just can't see it, dude. He can't see it because if we go back a little meter here, by the time he even really gets open, it's not all on Goff. Liz, by the time he's even getting open, Goff is now already his feet unplanted. He's trying to kind of go this way because this loss, and Phillips just, I mean, look, he's got a head of steam. He's just got steam coming off of his head here. That's me trying to draw some steam. And Goff is like, oh, crap, dude. Yikes. I got to somehow get rid of this football and try to get this over here to my main throw, which is Amara. I don't even see what's going on down here. And it's just a tough situation for Goff because this offensive line has been not clearly the same. They couldn't run the ball. Again, like we're saying, and it's not just him. I mean, look at this. This is Lucy. This guy's getting beaten. So it's like even when he's trying to move, like, oh my goodness. And then this guy, he doesn't get beaten yet. He just gets pushed back so far. Goff ends up getting hit from there to where his main concern isn't this guy. It's the temperature. You know what I'm saying? He's a Cali boy, and this is what he's concerned about, 40 degrees. It's the, not a lot, but 6. You know what I mean? The little wind. The wind radix that we got going on. And oh my goodness, again, question mark, is this guy gonna kill me? So all those going through his head in those 2 seconds. He can't even look, gets smoked, incomplete, another failed fourth down, and the Lions team that came into the game number 2 in offense leaves Philadelphia with 9 points. What's up, Lion fans and fans of the NFL? Welcome to the Lumia Sports Podcast channel page. Please check it out. Give us a sub, give us a like, and check out all these videos. We do lives or we do previews and the playlist every single week for each team. So check out your team. Lions fans, we got you guys set up, and all other NFL teams. Now back to the episode. So for the Lions, this is now really, really tough. You look at them, they are the 8th seed in the NFC. And this is kind of, there's a lot of components to this with the Lions when you look. Because I think, in a nutshell, going on the road to Philadelphia in, like, you know, November, middle of November, where it's cold, where the crowd is loud, and they're getting into playoff form, I don't think that loss is the worst thing in the world for the Lions. However, the problem is how disappointing last season ended when they had the 1 seed. Now you look, they're going to have to be on the road, it seems like, for a week. Now, can they catch the Bears? Sorry, I just hit my mic if you heard that. Can they catch the Bears? Very possible. You know what I mean? They already have a win over the Bears, and we'll get into the division breakdowns, but as it stands, currently outside of the playoffs, the Panthers are 6-5. I'm trying to think. They lost to the Packers, and the Packers tiebreaker doesn't really matter. I don't believe they've played the 49ers or will play the 49ers. I'm trying to think of Seattle. The big thing right now is just the losses. Like 6-4 is really, really tough. You still have a game against the Packers coming up. You have a game against the Bears coming up, and maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe you have the Bears figure it out. But that game is going to be in Chicago as well. Last time you played them, that was in Detroit. I think they they lost to the Vikings too. Like, I still think they're going to make the playoffs, but like, you look, the Bears now at the 3 seed, they just keep stacking wins. Now, will the Bears go out, lose some of these games down their tough stretch? Maybe, but just not ideal at this point where you want to be, specifically because last year you had a chance, everything in your building, and you lose in the first round to the Commanders. Mainly because, the defense was hurt, all these things. But now the defense is back. The defense has been much improved this year. And now the offense has just a myriad of problems. Like I've talked about with the Lions fans. Their offensive line has just been rough. I think that Goff is a little bit more of an issue than they let on. And this Dan Campbell thing, him taking over the plays, that was cool for a week. But last week he was doing some decisions that we've seen in the past that you look and you're like, hey, don't do that. And right now, with them as the 8th seed, you know what I mean? Not a lot of tiebreaker situations that I see, but it's just going to be tough for them going forward. And the main reason now, the team number 1 in their division is a team they already beat. That's good, but it can work both ways. Right now, as you stand a game back of the Bears, you are also a half game back of the Packers. The biggest thing, just looking at it, I just noticed that they're 1-2 in those divisional games. The Packers are 1-0, but again, they're so weird because of that tie. That's not going to come down to it, but the Bears are also 1-2. If you lose to the Bears in Chicago, the team that looks like it continues to be getting better and improving, you would then drop to 1-3 in the division and lose a tiebreaker over the Bears, because then the Bears would be 2-2, at least for that moment. It's a real sketch situation, I think, to say the least, for the Lions right now, because you try to look for their path. Their path to me is clearly now the division, and it doesn't have to be the division, but that's where you would feel most comfortable, and they're gonna get their opportunities. And the schedule's gonna add some clarity to this, right? Like when we look, because maybe there are things I'm missing, but they lose to Green Bay, they beat the Bears, beat them down, wins over Baltimore, Cleveland. That Baltimore one was huge. Cleveland win big. Cincinnati, so you beat up the AFC North. Then you play the Chiefs, you lose to them. You did beat the Buccaneers. That Minnesota loss coming off of a bye just cannot happen. That's when Dan took over the play calling for the Washington game. You smoked them, but you were going to do that regardless. And then the Eagles, you go out and you lose a tough game in the Colt. Next up, you get the Giants. You should win that game. You're actually getting them at home, which is huge as well. So you get some games in the Dome. You get 3 straight home games, actually. Giants, Packers, Dallas. You can kind of – now the Packers game is going to be interesting, right? Like, we're going to see that offensive line yet again. We're going to see Micah Parsons rush, and we're going to see Goff get pressured, and how they deal with that. I think they're a little bit different in the Dome. I think it's going to be a little easier than obviously in the freezing cold weather. But then you got the Rams, Steelers, Vikings, Bears. Those are some tough games. I mean, that Rams game is going to be really tough. That defense can get after you. The Packers defense can get after you as well. And their offenses can put up points. And the Steelers, you'd think they'd win that game. Vikings, and then you end the season. Last game of the year is actually at Chicago. That's incredible. I actually like them in that spot, in that kind of pressure situation. We've seen them beat the Packers in the last game of the season. We saw them go out against the Vikings in what was like game of the year in that situation and win the game. I do like them in that spot if it were to come down to the division. However, if it was playoffs on the line, I would be nervous just because it's playoffs on the line and you don't want to be in that situation if you're the Detroit Lions. So let's see if they can pick it up. You get a Giants game. They need to. I think that Packers game week 13 is huge. They obviously got to beat the Giants. You lose to the Giants, everything is in question. But they need to beat the Packers, to me, to be in a really good position going forward. Now, in our new segment, favorite segment, comment of the week. I might just say that for years, guys. I'll come with some new stuff for you, but comment of the week. We scour our comments, look for the best ones, and this hurts. I actually love the Lions fans. They've been extremely supportive of the channel. They get in there. They say go Lions to other videos that have nothing to do with the Lions. My guy X, the Trim Reaper, we've been talking. I thought the left tackle position should have been upgraded with a trade, and I really thought Cam Jordan would have been a cheap, perfect fit, but what do I know? Laugh emoji. Their offensive line has been getting just cooked now for a couple weeks. They were on it against the Vikings team when they were getting blitzed. And just again, some other people, some other thoughts. Thomas Kellen Carlson, XM5BC. I'm going to subscribe. But, bruh, dude had instant A-gap pressure, no run game, took 5-6 and a beating with no rhythm. He almost threw over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks, and put up 27. This was against the Vikings again a couple weeks ago. With a chance to win, the defense could have got off the field. I got nothing to faith in 12. If the O-line does their job and gives them 3 seconds, he will dice people apart. Need to stop the hate for Goff. He's our guy. Win or lose, he's our guy. I'm just saying. And the Lions sluggish offense will be bailed out. This extra Trim Reaper again. Lions sluggish offense will be bailed out by their first time mostly LP defense and will carry them to Levy Stadium. Oh, yeah. I love the enthusiasm. This offensive line is a problem. Like, Jared Goff was just under pressure the whole game, hit 7 times. Now, but we got to be fair. A lot of passes batted down line of scrimmage. That's just impressive plays to me from the Eagles. He was missing some passes. There were 4th down opportunities where he had Amara St. Brown. He just kept throwing it off target. Guys were open. We showed you a video of one running underneath. Now, is he getting pressured? Yes. But that's just reality sometimes in the NFL. I mean, with the Eagles, you see Lane Johnson going out, and Aiden Hutchinson is just screaming it hurts all game. That is going to come with the territory. Now, because we've talked about Goff, I think, a bunch. We do need to put 14 for 37 is really bad. He was missing a lot of passes, and this is kind of the problem. He's not mobile, so him not being able to get out there is huge. And also, a lot of the passes that he was hitting that were big plays because he had 255 yards were really just swings to Gibbs, design Gibbs screens and swing routes. Gibbs 177 yards receiving on 5 catches. Like, he was cooking them on those plays, and really, again, against a top Eagles defense right now, 8th in points per game, and getting better in all these categories because they just made a trade for Jalen Phillips, who we saw in the video make that play. They added, and it's hard to add the offensive line position, but Gibbs, again, out there explosive. No Laporta in this game. That's big as a safety blanket and someone to throw it underneath. But I got to be honest, because we've talked about Goff so much, it's time to talk about his alter ego, Dan Campbell, with the glasses. Normally I have my girlfriend's glasses here as props, but oh, here they are. We got them. Guys, let's take a look, right? So Dan Campbell, we know now how he's looking at the playbooks, how he's calling the plays out for the Lions. And guys, let me tell you, I got the sheet. Sorry, I got the sheet, right? And we see what Dan Campbell's looking at and what he's going for. And this is what we got, guys. I hope you guys can read this. This is what it says. This is Dan Campbell's grand plan. 4th equals go. If it's 4th down, we go for it. That's why I needed to pick up the play calling, the play calling responsibilities to cook up that plan. Guys, there was another guy who used to do stuff like this. I think Dan Campbell's way better than this guy, but it was only a few short years ago when Brandon Staley had dug himself so deep in this 4th down, I gotta go for it no matter what situation, that he forced himself to get fired. Now, Dan Campbell not getting fired, but you could argue those decisions going for 4th down, he's doing it at his own 45. He's doing it at his own 45 on 4th and 1s, right? for no reason. Now, can the Eagles' offense move? No. But your defense is good. The defense right now, 8th in all these categories. Literally 8th. Not top 8th, actually 8th. Pretty crazy. 8th in points allowed, 20 points a game. 8th in stopping the run. 8th in stopping the pass. They have been, and this is before this game, the stats are going to get better for that defense. That defense, I think they're 6th in getting sacks. It's a real unit, right? Your offense, short, 2nd in points. This is not last year's Lions team where there was no offense, where everyone was hurt. Man, I was cheering loud for the Eagles and I had karaoke this weekend. My bad, guys. But this isn't that same offense. This isn't that same defense. They fight. They were right there with the Eagles. Now against the Vikings, I think it was a little touch and go. So maybe that's depends on the circumstance. We did see him against the Chiefs get lit up. Maybe that was the mentality. But as the game is going and you see the Eagles offense can't move and you get the opportunity to just cut it to 4 on 4th and goal from the 3, just do it. How about this, Dan? Among all those other things, how about this? Don't fake punt it. I almost made that my play of the game because on that play, I saw Bond, I saw Cooper DeJean. All of the Eagles defenders were on the field. They know what you're going to do. It's not tricky. You're not fooling this team. They're ready for all of that, and it just wasn't going to happen. And I was going to make another point. I forget. But, how about late in the game, right? You know what I mean? You're down 16-6. How about you go for the 4th and 10 and don't punt the ball back and let them just waste more clock? Now you end up getting actually a stop on 4th and inches, getting the ball, kicking a field goal, but that's what you could have done the whole time. And it was just, they just kept passing up points. It was ridiculous out there. And yeah, I mean, Dan Campbell's got to wear this one too. Like he just, that was out of control what he did. Like they only scored 16 points. You kick a couple field goals. Could they kick 4 field goals? They were in range. They could have, right? Like, I know their kicker, sometimes he's a little shaky Bates, and it was cold and everything, but then you trust him into 54-yarder and he does it, and you're like, wow. That would have been cool all game. I'm an Eagles fan, so not me, but, like, yeah, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Specifically this game, as much as Goff didn't play well, I understand now where you guys... The offensive line was absolutely getting shredded, and Dan Campbell's play calling was not great. Now, again, I think wins are a QB stat, and I think Goff was not very good. But to me, not that surprising. I'm sorry, Lions fans. This is what I've been trying to tell you about your guy. And it's tough because now the further you get away from possibly winning the division, this is why they need to bounce back. The further you get to him having to play a game, let's just look at it. Tampa Bay, LA, those would be cool. In Chicago, in Philadelphia, in those Green Bay might be, you know what I mean? One of the teams, you got to go play one of these teams somewhere. And I wouldn't love playing the Rams if I was golfing this offensive line right now. So this is all I was saying. I'm not trying to hurt you guys' feelings. But this is the reality of the NFL. People get hurt. Offensive linemen get injured. And offensive lines aren't always top tier. What you built around Jared Goff was a great offensive line, weapons, and the defense was a problem. So now you got to pour some resources into making the defense better. With that, now your offense, you can't, it's hard to have a perfect team. Even schematically, you see the Eagles, they, top to bottom, might be the most talented team in the league. Patullo, a clown at times, for sure. So their offense doesn't click. Like, you got to get all these things right. Dan took over the responsibility of the play calling. He's an offensive line kind of guy. He prides himself on the team being tough. They are lacking in both of those areas. Can they fix it? I think the play calling thing you can tweak, but now it's all of that just looks rough because of what you did to take it over, and now you go out and you lay that egg. And offensive lines are very hard to fix in the season, and the biggest problem with that, because the offensive line that I would say, the operation I say has been cleaned up the most recently, it's been the Chicago Bears. They did it right after their bye week. We saw the Lions go on the bye, come back, and that's when the problems really arose against the Vikings. So there are 1,000% issues right now. Now you do go, you play the Giants, and best part, you don't have to play the Giants in the Meadowlands where players go to, get their careers altered. You do get to play them in Detroit. You get to go at home, be in your dome, put up a bunch of points, get some Jameis picks, and life will be good. But then you got the Packers in that building, and that is when we're going to see a lot about this Lions team. They got to beat one of these good teams. I mean, they beat the Bucks. That's a good win. But they got to – this division, they got to get these division wins going forward. I think that what you see right now, unfortunately, with this offensive line and the situation that they're in, I think the defense is right there. But with this offensive line and what Campbell's decision-making gets you sometimes, despite all the talent, I think we might be seeing, unfortunately, a clear ceiling for this Lions team. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please watch some of the other videos on the site. I've created a playlist with each and every football team, and every week we will be going over those games. I'm really loving this, enjoying it, and hoping you guys are as well. Of course, like, subscribe, and if anyone wants to sponsor, we're looking for Lumia Sports Productions is looking for sponsors. Shout us out. We will shout you out during the video. Thank you guys again for watching. Have a great day. Enjoy.